Welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat. I am here today with Cherie and Calbom.
Hi, I'm Linda Mitchell, 54-year-old elite obstacle racer, award-winning fitness competitor, gym owner, and author. Welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat podcast, where we will approach the difficult topics of life, interview inspiring guests, and bring empowerment to all. This community is a place where we can be who we are instead of who others want us to be. Let's get started.
A quarter century of probiotic excellence. Essential Formulas Incorporated proudly celebrates 25 years of innovation and leadership in the probiotic industry. Since introducing Dr. Ohhira's Probiotics, the gold standard in full-spectrum probiotics in early 2000, we have remained dedicated to advancing probiotic science through research, education, and cutting-edge product development. Over the years, we have expanded our commitment by introducing groundbreaking products designed to nourish the microbiome, both inside and out, such as Reg Active and Dr. Ohhira's Probiotic Skincare. As we step into our next quarter century, we extend our deepest gratitude to all those who share our vision of probiotic excellence for better human health. Dr. Ohhira's probiotics are available at natural grocers, Sprouts, Whole Foods, and natural health retailers nationwide. Discover the Dr. Ohhira's difference today.
Welcome back to the Sisterhood of Sweat, where we dive into conversations that empower you to live healthier, stronger, and more purpose-filled lives. Today's guest is a true pioneer in the wellness world, known globally as the Juice Lady. Cherie Calbom has spent decades helping people reclaim their health through nutrition, whole foods, and juicing. Cherie holds a master's of science in nutrition and has authored an incredible 36 books, guys, selling more than 3.5 million copies worldwide. Her bestseller, Juicing for Life, has inspired millions to transform their health naturally. From serving as George Foreman's nutritionist to advising the royal family of the UAE, her expertise has reached across the globe. Today, we're discussing her latest book, The Truth About Seed Oils, which challenges long-held beliefs about so-called heart-healthy oils and explores their potential impact on hormones, inflammation, aging, metabolic health, and overall wellness. Cherie, welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on your show. I love the name of your show.
Thank you so much. And I just have to say, SWEAT is an acronym for Strong Women Empowering Achieving Together. And here we are.
Love it. I love it. We are here together for purpose and meaning and going to the next level. I'm always talking about let's go to the next level of wellness and purpose, and you can't have purpose without wellness. So we're on the right track today, talking about how to get there for the next level we want to go to.
That was so good. That to me was like a perfect soundbite. I may have to use that later. Your journey in nutrition began after losing your mother to breast cancer at such a young age. How did that experience shape your life's mission?
It's shaped my entire life mission. So dying of cancer when I was so young, I made my master's thesis, nutrition and cancer. No surprise. But I had my own journey in between getting my degree and my mother dying. I ended up very sick in my 20s with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. And I was so sick. Talk about sisterhood of sweat. I couldn't go out and even walk around the block. I would just sleep all the time and felt very fatigued and ached all over and felt like I had the flu, low-grade fever. And no doctor knew how to help me. And I thought, this is ridiculous. My whole life is ahead. I can't be sick like this. There's got to be a way out of this. And I went to some health food stores and found out, I was doing everything all wrong. I loved junk food, fast food. I hated vegetables. I was a sugaraholic. And my mother had died when I was young. No wonder I was sick. So I learned about juicing, got my first juicer, went on a 5-day vegetable juice fast. And on day 5, my body expelled a tumor this size. the size of a golf ball with blue blood vessels attached, looked like somebody cut them. Something had God scissors, I call it, or nature's scissors, and it's the phytonutrients, luteolin, apigenin, physitin, a bunch of names like that of phytonutrients that cut off angiogenesis, meaning the blood supply to tumors. So unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know I had the tumor, and I was drinking what was going to set me free. So I thought, okay, I got rid of that thing. We think in the West, do this. You get rid of it, you're going to be fine. But I did wake up well the next day. I was on a journey. And this is what I tell people now. It is a journey. It's a lifestyle. It's not a marathon. I mean, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you just don't get there overnight. Oftentimes as your body detoxes, it turns over cells, it's healing, it's rejuvenating. It feels like a step forward and maybe a step back occasionally. But one day I woke up 3 months later with juicing and eating food. After 5 days, I added in real solid food, whole foods, mostly lots of vegetables and ancient grains and legumes. And I woke up well. And it's like, wow, somebody gave me a new body last night. I felt fabulous. I called it a cure. I went back to Southern California, my old way of life, and tried eating burgers and fries and pizza with my friends, and my symptoms started coming back. And that's when it dawned on me, this has got to be a way of life. You've got to make a whole new mindset for yourself of what you're going to do, what you're going to let go of, what you're going to embrace as comfort food, celebration foods. Can't be the old stuff anymore. I saw the power of nutrition, so I went back to school and got my Master of Science degree in Whole Foods Nutrition.
That's so fabulous. I am so impressed too. What first sparked your passion for like the juicing? Like how did you get a hold of that, and what was your direction? Like did you get books? Did you just kind of fall into it by accident?
People mentioned it. There weren't one book. There was one book that I could find. It was an old Norman Walker book on juicing. It was written, I think, in the 30s. It didn't have any recipes. It just had numbers and vegetables, like 1 to 30 or something. And for this condition, you combine these vegetables. And he didn't say how much, or no recipes, or nothing about flavor or taste. So but I used that. And I was so desperate to be well and realizing that doctors weren't going to help me. They had no answers, that I had to do something. I thought, well, why not give it a try? Right. And I read a little bit about juice fasting. I thought, okay, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to jump in and go for the whole thing. And I got an amazing result, expelling that tumor. And I thought, okay, something happened. Something's going on here that's pretty positive. That's why I think I've written so many books. I had to hunt and peck my way through the whole thing and create recipes that tasted awful, and then learn how to combine things. You know how it goes. And that's what brought me to today. But before I'd even graduated, how I became the juice lady, I was at my university in the second year. One of the VPs of the Juice Man Company came to our university and asked for a couple of graduate students to write the little booklet to go in the juicer, some recipes, a little nutrition information. The head of the department asked me if I was interested. And, when you're a student, you'll take anything. Yeah. $10 an hour. Great. Sign me up. Well, I discovered they were doing juice seminars around the country. And there was a big bulletin board when I walked in. Juice man will be here, and juice woman here, and a naturopathic doctor over here. And I thought, okay, I could do that. I have an undergrad degree in in speech communications. And I have my own story of how juicing and nutrition changed my life completely and healed me. And they gave me a try, and they made me their juice lady early on. And the name has stuck ever since. So that is
Oh my gosh. I love that. And I just have to say, I had somebody on yesterday and her nickname was Dr. Pimple Popper, and she's a dermatologist, and she's on Lifetime with a show. And I think sometimes that when you get into things and you start evolving them, you get a nickname that sticks, and it kind of makes you famous in a way.
Yeah.
And I know Elaine Lelaine and Jack Lelaine had a juicer, and she would talk about it a lot. And I really, I think people have kind of lost the art of realizing that that is a big way back to health. Looking back over your career, what health myth caused the most damage to public health?
In my book, there's no doubt about it. The low fat, no fat diet was a disaster. And naming fat and cholesterol as the villains and the cause of heart disease and other diseases disastrous. We came through decades of low fat, no fat. Everybody was dumping sugar and everything because you've got to have some flavor
Oh,
somewhere. There was
right, fat-free,
fat.
full of sugar.
There was no fat. Fat brings satiety. And so that was billed for this is going to help you lose weight. This is heart healthy. What happened? Obesity and overweight exploded. It's now 70% of our nation is either overweight and or obese. And did we conquer heart disease? No. It's the number one killer in America. It has been the worst thing in my estimation ever to hit America and be advertised as the answer and the way to everybody's problems. And it has been the cause of so many problems.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you are definitely speaking my language here, and what people don't also realize is the fat kind of slows down the carb, from spiking your insulin levels. And, also just having some good retinol keeps your iron from getting trapped in your body so that you can't utilize it. There's so many good reasons that you need good fats. What totally got you inspired? You decided you're going to write the truth about seed oils now, because I think so many people don't even understand what they would do for you.
My goodness. So I was inspired to write this because it's a hot topic of conversation. It's really big on TikTok and Instagram right now, and especially amongst Gen Zs and millennials. But there's confusion and people don't know what's what and why they're really bad. They just are saying, okay, I know they're bad. What can I have in their place? And I thought there needs to be a book that just really lays out the whole picture, where we started, what's the dark history, why it started, how we got here, what we can do to make the change, how it's going to affect us, and what's the science behind it all. Because chapter 2 is all science, linking it to, and you mentioned the pimple doctor, it's even linked to acne and eczema and psoriasis, seed oils. So out comes the truth about seed oils. It's just brand new. It just got released. And my prayer is that it's going to wake up America and people will all start demanding better products, better restaurant fare. Fast food needs to do away with all of that nasty oil that is just so toxic. It's killing America. I call these the silent killers because we don't taste much. We don't smell it, but it's there doing its dirty work of inflammation in our body.
So, what are okay, so people grew up thinking these seed oils are healthier than butter or animal fats.
Yeah.
How did that message become so widespread? And give me the reasons why that is not true.
So it became mainstream and advertised, and the government got involved in the early 50s when heart attacks just really began increasing exponentially. What happened during the war was that coconut oil couldn't make it through the waters. The ships couldn't make it through. Prior to World War II, coconut oil had been advertised and considered the healthiest oil on earth, was what many ads said. And there's a lot of truth in that. Coconut oil is extremely healthy. But when the oil couldn't make it here, then the seed oil companies, which have been very small part of the market before, stepped up their production. Where they even started, I'm going to backtrack one step, was when cotton was a big crop in the 1800s, and cotton seeds were piling up all over the place, rotting and smelling. And it's like, what do we do with all these cotton seeds? And so they came up with the idea, let's make oil out of them. Well, the oil that they produced was dark and smelly, and it was used to lubricate machinery. And it was used to lubricate ships and aircraft during World War II. But prior to World War II, like somewhere in the 20s, they said, well, we still have a lot of seeds. We need to do something else. So let's make cooking oil out of it. Let's refine it even more so it isn't dark and smelly. So it looks good. And the modern American cook can use it. So they came up with the plan, and it was a plan that created very toxic oils. So very, very high heat, like 500 degrees. That is a danger zone right away for polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are very fragile. Heat destroys them, creates toxic byproducts, carcinogenic products, aldehydes, lipid peroxides, all of that nasty stuff that wrecks your cells, wrecks your arteries, and leads to all these diseases that I'll name in a while. But so anyway, they had the refined oil, but with the high heat, but then they poured in hexane to get the last little bit of oil out of the seeds. Well, hexane's very toxic. And then neutralizers, deodorizers, and bleaching agents. By the time it's done with that big slurry, if you see a picture, it's so gross, big vat of all these seeds and nasty stuff and the chemicals, and they eventually roll out a golden oil that doesn't have a smell or a taste. So that came on the market in the 20s to do something additional with these seeds, but it hadn't really taken off until the war. And then the seed oil companies saw great inroad to advertise their oil and really expand their market. And right after the war, something else showed up that hadn't been here before. Heart attacks. Really, I mean, there had been just a little bit. You look at a bar graph before World War II, it was very small, little bit going on with heart disease, heart attack. After the war, big bar graph jumps way up. People are dropping over from heart attacks, and people wanted to know why, and they were scared. And somebody they knew had just died of a heart attack. And it's like, this is a new phenomenon. What's going on? The government gets involved, scientists, physicists, doctors, and they do autopsies and they find plaque in the arteries. In the plaque is fat and cholesterol. So they didn't ask, too many of them, why did that plaque form in the first place? Because we've always eaten this way. We've eaten fat and cholesterol. We've had cheese and butter and eggs and red meat and tallow and, all of the lard and all of the animal fats. And nobody was dropping over like this before. So why suddenly would it be fat and cholesterol? But no, they targeted fat and cholesterol because they found it in the plaque and said that's the culprit. And a few common sense voices said, wait a minute, historically, ancestral diet, we've always eaten this way, but no, they targeted it. And they targeted coconut oil because it had saturated fat. And the lipid hypothesis was born. Lipid meaning fat. The fat hypothesis that fat causes heart attacks and it is the culprit. And it sent us down this road for decades of misinformation and calling these seed oils, which were then known as vegetable oils, good marketing strategy. Who doesn't want vegetables in their diet? It sent us down this road claiming that this would be heart healthy, that it would prevent heart attacks, and it hasn't. That's still the number one killer in America.
So, what are seed oils and which ones are most commonly found in our food supply today so people can know how to read the labels and steer clear?
So right up at the top of the worst ones, canola, which is rapeseed. It's a GMO product, genetically modified organism. So that has double problems. GMO is linked to cancer. Soy, same thing, big GMO crop. So in addition to all of the toxic processing, it's a GMO to start with. And then corn is another big GMO product. So those three oils are really, really bad, and they are used probably the most in fast foods and packaged foods, snack foods, and restaurants use a lot of canola oil to cook their food. And the fast food restaurants use a lot of soy or peanut oil. So anyway, peanut oil is also on the list just because of how it's processed. Safflower and sunflower, grapeseed oil, and that was one that was advertised to be very healthy. I used to even recommend it. It's like, yikes. And then rice bran oil, cottonseed oil, that's your list. And those are the ones you want to avoid. Many times labels will just say vegetable oil, which is often a combo of maybe two or more of those oils. But those are the ones we want to avoid, and we want to be wise shoppers. So now everybody's saying, all right, well, what can I have? So olive oil never went out of fashion. It's still extra virgin olive oil, great, great oil. Two other fruit oils would be avocado oil and coconut oil. Those are really good for you. Avocado oil has a high smoke point. So if you're doing high heat cooking, then avocado oil is your good choice. Ghee, some people call it oil of butter, and sesame seed oil, just because people use smaller amounts of that and they don't buy big jars of it usually. It isn't ruined with all of that processing. So still, it's considered okay, cold pressed or expeller pressed, which means low heat processing. And then the animal fats, if you're not vegan, butter, ghee, tallow, back on the list. They came, they went, they came back, and they're on their okay list. And there are certain restaurants that are switching over to cooking their fries and other fried foods in beef tallow. And it is a better choice because it has a high smoke point. And so it's a much more durable fat than what they have been using to cook fries and other fried foods.
How can seed oils influence hormone balance in women?
Oh my goodness. They are hormone disruptors primarily because they're so inflammatory. They affect the cell membrane. So, our cell membrane is fat. And if we have faulty fat, when the cells turn over or the cells need replacement, they're going to use the faulty fats. And we're finding, and science is linking seed oils directly to insulin resistance, meaning that your cells can't take in insulin properly. So, you have more insulin floating around in your system. That leads to more sugar metabolism problems, and then just taking in a variety of nutrients and expelling waste. So, yes, a lot of women that have reduced their seed oils. I don't know if we can ever get rid of all of them until we really get the enlightenment going in our country, but have really reduced it, have noticed different hormonal issues improving, PMS, endometriosis, even headaches. I had one young woman with a migraine headache. I don't know that I'm linking this directly to hormones, but she couldn't get rid of her migraine headaches until she pretty much reduced the seed oils, got them out as much as she could, and the headaches went away and never came back.
What role do phytoestrogens in soy-based oils play in estrogen-related symptoms?
So I don't recommend soy products for that reason, for the phytoestrogens. There are a couple of reasons that some people want a little more when they're fighting cancer, but pretty much get them out of your diet. These soy products are goitrogens, meaning they block iodine absorption. It really affects thyroid hormone. And many people have gone to soy, soy, soy. Soy oil is used extensively in products and soy fillers. So it may not even be listed as soy, it might just be referred to as some filler, but it is definitely not good for the thyroid and linked in some studies to cancer as well.
Boy, I tell you, we gotta watch out for so much, and even in the plastics, you're getting, all of your hormones disrupted as well. Are there certain women who may be more sensitive to hormonal disruptions from seed oils than others?
Of course, we're all so different. One man's food. In this case, though, this is poison no matter what, but it depends on where your sensitivities lie. So, seed oils can affect one woman by just being very disruptive to the hormones and affect another woman in another way. Maybe acne, that's linked in studies to seed oils, or eczema or psoriasis, or brain issues like Alzheimer's or dementia, mood issues. This is affecting so many young women, anxiety and depression, even aggression. And these seed oils are linked in studies directly to those emotional issues. It is time for us to wake up and get this stuff out, and also weight gain. These seed oils are linked to weight gain, to obesity, and also fatigue. So many people are just tired. So, maybe it's the seed oils that's just knocking the wind out of your sails.
Wow, yeah, I mean, there's so many things that, just realizing what's healthy and not healthy and cutting out certain things and including others. You discussed the connection between seed oils and aging. What is happening to people at the cellular level?
The cells are aging. So it all starts, do we have young cells or aging cells? And that's what contributes to the diseases of aging and the appearance of aging. So, what is happening to the cell membrane? Is it turning rigid? Is it no longer supple? These oils have been implicated most definitely in aging. These are faulty oils. Faulty is a very kind word for them. They're very toxic oils, actually, and they create oxidative stress. And in studies, oxidative stress is linked directly to aging, premature aging. I have one title. I'm going to write an article on this one of these days. Do you want to age 10 years in short order? Include seed oils because they contribute to the aging of the cell. And it is the oxidative stress that they bring into your body that creates the aging cell, which creates an aging body.
How did inflammation and oxidative stress then, start aging people? How can they decrease the inflammation and the stress.
Okay, you gotta get rid of the seed oils as much as you can, and you gotta get my book. So you've got the list of your shopping guide, your healthy shopping guide, wise shopping, and the list of the good oils. But, as we start replenishing the good oils, the right fats, and we need the right ratio of omega-6 to omega-3s. So we need to get more omega-3 fatty acids in our diet and a whole lot less of omega-6s. That's going to really cut down on the inflammation. It's going to help those cells, those cell membranes, that outer coating of the cell that's fat, become more supple as we get the right fats in our diet. It's going to help the brain. The brain is about 60 fat. Of that, cholesterol is a large percentage in your brain. What if you've got all this faulty fat? The body's going to use what it needs to use now. If all it has is these denatured oils, denatured fat, it's going to use it and it's going to replenish and replace. But as you change your diet, as you start using the good oils and get some good omega-3s in your diet as well, like flaxseed oil or hemp seed oil. Walnut oil is another good one. Those are all cold. You can't cook with those. You can't heat them. They're very fragile, but increase that. And the cold water fatty fish, wild caught salmon or trout, and also bring some avocado. Well, avocado is linoleic acid, but black seed oil is really good to bring in as well. So up your omega-3s, really reduce your omega-6s, which are the seed oils. You're going to bring some balance to your body. You're going to notice more anti-aging going on. Your skin should look more supple, shinier. Your hair should shine more. Those are outward appearances of what's happening on the inside. But internally, you should be feeling better, more energy to work out, to sleep better, maybe need less sleep, joint pain improving, all of these
Okay.
things.
So with, the taking in the good fat, how much should people take in every day?
So about 30% of our diet should be good fats. And we have been through the season of, I think one time they wanted us to be 10% or less. That is like, oh my goodness, that is a disaster.
That's keto, right?
Yes, that is just a disaster. And there's
Well,
no
not
science.
now, but the old Atkins way.
Yes, the old Atkins way. Well, now keto includes good fats and
Yeah, now it's like
certainly
good
animal.
fat and protein and vegetables, but very little carbs. And I'm just like, I just believe more in a balance.
Me too. Especially vegetables. I am a huge vegetable person. Vegetable juicing is big on my list. We must have vegetables for our antioxidants, our phytonutrients, our biophotons, and our enzymes. So we really need our vegetables. But as a person gets rid of too, the other inflammatory substance that I go after is sugar because it is very, very inflammatory. And it came on the scene about the time the seed oils did in the 50s, big time. And so it also creates wounding in the arteries along with the seed oils. And it has been shown directly linked to aging. So if we can get sugar out and seed oils out, boy, we're on our way to feeling better and looking better.
Wow. I mean, yes. And then just realizing that when you cut something out and you are extreme, like the balance is good because you're having your vegetables, you're getting like your phytonutrients, you're getting your antioxidants. And what do you think about fruit?
Well, I'm a fan of fruit. It depends on your blood sugar metabolism system. Some people need to go low sugar fruit, like green apples and berries are your lowest sugar. And of course, lemons and limes. I'm in that category. I have to go very low sugar. Other people, they're just fine. But about 2 pieces, 2 servings of fruit a day is a good goal, unless you need to reduce that a little more. One man's food is another man's poison, especially when it comes to fruit or juicing fruit in particular, where the fiber is removed. There's a lot of people who can't do very much fruit juice. So the 80-20 rule is really good. 80% vegetables, 20% fruit. Some people have to go 90-10. That's okay. We need to learn to listen to our bodies. It will tell you. It'll speak loud and clear when you get it shaped up, cleaned out. It'll really let you know when you have things that isn't good for it. And so, yeah, fruit's good. Fruit in season is even better. And just listen to your body, what it's saying about the fruit sugars.
I think you can really notice your body does speak if you're paying attention. Like sometimes just doing a process of elimination to figure things out works, I think. And if somebody today wants to age well, which I think is probably 99% of us, what dietary changes would you prioritize first?
All right, so back to you gotta get the seed oils out, so do, the pantry cleanse, I call it, and the wise shopping and wise restaurant eating. You can get an app. You can go to my landing page, thetruthaboutseedoils.com, and there's a link for the free trial for Seed Oil Scout app that'll be it's got a scanner, so you can just point it at the barcode on any product, and it'll tell you what's in there, excuse me, and if there's seed oils, and then it'll tell you what restaurants around you are seed oil free. So you can start there and then start getting rid of the sugars and then drinking more water, adding in more vegetables. I love juicing. I believe it's a life changer. It's anti-aging. I love to juice vegetables in the morning. And then I also make a smoothie with vegetable juices and an avocado, and I put some pumpkin seeds on top. And that is absolutely a fabulous way to start your day if you are so inclined to start juicing. I juice a lot of ginger and turmeric, which are anti-inflammatories and great for the immune system. All of these things are going to give you a lot more energy and life coming into your body. I also love big main course salads for dinner or stir fries, getting a lot of vegetables in. I cut way back on the carbs. I believe that you should not cut them all out, but we don't need a lot of them and we don't need any refined carbs. So our carbs should come from our whole grains, and I love ancient grains, and our whole vegetables, and a little bit of fruit.
What grains do you like and feel are the healthiest?
I like the really ancient ones. So millet, I do buckwheat. I have every once in a while I'll have a buckwheat cereal in the morning. I've also sprouted buckwheat and made dehydrated crackers from them. They're really delicious. I love unusual rice. I like green rice. And I find it at one health food store. And to me, it is so delicious. I also love black rice and red rice. So those are options as well. Did I name millet? I think millet is a good one. And I love to every once in a while make that for breakfast as well. I've had teff tortillas. They aren't easy to find. Ethiopian restaurants more have them, but I think they are so delicious. If you can ever find a teff tortilla,
Oh, I'm
go for it.
totally looking that up. I make my own crackers with almond flour and some spices, and they're so easy and so good.
Yes, they are.
So good. Well, I have so enjoyed this. If you could leave the listeners just with one message about food and health, what would it be?
I'm going back to purpose. We each have a purpose. We're on this earth for a reason, and we want to finish well. We want to complete our purpose. And how are you going to do that? If you're not well, if you don't have the energy, you will not be able to complete your purpose. You will not feel fulfilled in your life. Do what you love and the money will follow. You'll be more prosperous, healthy, and happy. When you start with the basics, putting the right fuel in your car is so important. We know that. What about our bodies? Far more important than our car, but we would never put the wrong fuel. You wouldn't put diesel in a regular car. I know a guy who did that and his car died on the freeway, made a mistake. But we would never do that. But we need high octane fuel, the premium in this body. But if you give your body what it needs, it is going to hum along and you will have the energy, the cognitive ability, the emotional ability, because you're going to feel happy and full of gratitude, hopefully, because you just wake up happy and you're going to be able to complete your purpose. And that's what it's all about. We came here for a reason and we want to get it done, but we've got to be healthy to complete what we're here to do.
Well, I totally echo those sentiments. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge today, Cherie, helping us take a closer look at something that affects nearly all of us every single day. Whether listeners agree or simply become more curious about what's on their plate, today's conversation reminds us that informed choices are powerful choices. Thank you so much, Cherie.
Thank you so much. Yes, come visit me, juiceladyinfo.com and thetruthaboutcereals.com, and follow me on Instagram at Juice Lady Cherie, Cherie. I've got recipes there all the time.
And if you guys enjoyed the episode, please share it with a friend, subscribe to the Sisterhood of Sweat, and leave us a review. Your support helps us continue bringing you conversations that inspire transformation from the inside out. And remember, your strongest chapter may still be ahead. And as always, you guys, keep on keeping on. Bye, everyone.
And I hope that all of our listeners have enjoyed this podcast. And if you guys have really enjoyed this, please review us in iTunes and also share this episode with your friends and your loved ones. Thanks again for listening to the Sisterhood of Sweat.